Okay, welcome back, and my guest in-house is Dr. Sylvester Norman. We've been getting some interesting calls. The last one just before we went on break, and it was Dr. Omotayo, and he was wondering what's the big deal? What's the unmentionable lateness in graduating at 22, for example, 18 plus 4. All other things being equal, ASU doesn't involve itself in the process. So you have a clear 4 years. I think Dr. Motayo also was highlighting, he even used an example that, look, there are psychological aspects to the rigors of a university system. Sure. And that I imagine that he was thinking that maybe the policy people are also thinking that can youngsters much younger than that actually organize themselves properly? Might they not be under the influence? This is the first time these people are going to be away from home, the first time that they are tasting this freedom, and it's thrown at them wholesale. Now suddenly you don't have mommy anymore to guide you or daddy to guide you. You yourself are a landlord now, so to speak. And it is felt that a lot of the youths, students, cannot actually moderate their time without danger. Now, that's one. I heard that. Did you say NECO in Ilorin? Adenike in Ilorin. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Please go ahead with your comment.
Oh, yes. I want to say thank you so much to our representative and the studio there.
Yes.
Very good discussion.
Yes.
Well, I will have this question to ask. Right. Yes, the minister came up with the age on the university's entry. But what happens to the primary and the secondary schools? Because I happen to be a teacher in a secondary school.
Okay.
Because when we're going to enroll the students from primary 1, it must be 6. And you see parents bringing their children at 6 years. And when it comes to secondary school too, right? Parents bring their children less than 12. What happens to that? I think those things need to be addressed before going right to the university age limit. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Did you understand?
Yes, okay. Yes. She said the parents bring in children before at the age of 4.
Well,
in private schools and the rest.
Yes.
Actually, if you listen to me from the beginning, I'm not totally against the 18 years of age, but I'm saying there should have been flexibility, so that even if you get to write WAEC and NECO before 18, you are not regarded as an underage based on your background. You see, the psychological aspect which Dr. Motayo mentioned is actually there. It's actually there. Like university is made for mature people. Fine. But if the enabling environment is there, they can cope. When we attended university, with a ticket of 50 naira or less than that, you can eat whatever you want to eat and all those things. But I know that is old days. People will say, no,
those days
we are
gone.
Talking of ancient age. And
those
all
days are gone.
Fine. But now, let the Ministry of Education allow it to be gradual.
But the point that Adenike brought up is that...
He said some people come before 4 years.
Yes.
And that is where I say working class parents and the rest, there is no way they will not send their children to school.
And that's where Dr. Motayo, who called in, was a bit angry that we become so used to doing the wrong thing. They're supposed to start school at 6. Adenike has just informed us that she's a school teacher.
Yes.
We get kids coming in to start school at 4, 2 years before the
6 years expectation.
The 6
you see, the fear of the parents, I may not be completely right, but let me say the fear of the parents is this aspect of a child writing a NECO WAEC at 18, writing JAMB at 18, And maybe if that child is not able to get that JAMB that year, you need to come back the other year, need to come back. Some people normally write JAMB at 2, 3, 4 times. But then, if that child gain admission, spend 4 years, that 4 years, all things being equal, ceteris paribus, which of course all things can never be equal in Nigeria. ASU strike and the rest come in, and you now graduate at 25, 26.
Okay.
Every organization, most organizations in Nigeria and companies, they are pegging age. You must not be less than 20, more than 23, more than 24 before you are recruited. So that one, you now try to juxtapose it. If you have to do UCall, if you have to juxtapose it, so many people are missing out of the employment, indices.
That's why you said earlier that this perhaps needs to be looked at again.
By all stakeholders. By all stakeholders. Yes.
Let's talk about it.
You see, let me quickly tell you, as you are aware already. I taught in primary school, secondary school, college of education, university. I know how the things work there. There are times even on this, so naturally, somebody will come and say, look, I just need to be educated. The person will come and start college of education at 30, at 30 something.
Yes.
Because of maybe he or she was insulted by one educated person or not. Naturally, this aspect of 18 years, it has been there. If we have to look at the 334 system and the number of years you have before you enter, but bringing it out now, you will see everybody must talk. That is just the truth. You have to look at the employability of whoever is going to be the graduates. Look at the employability. Look at access to education, proper education, conventional education. Now, some university and JAMB are saying, no, those that went for part-time degree and the rest, they are illegal. That one is still there. That is a matter of another day discussion. Let the stakeholder come around. The student body should be involved. Teachers should be there.
Not illegal, maybe not yet qualified.
The students themselves?
The ones you said can be thought of as being illegal. Maybe you can just say they're not yet qualified.
Yes, not qualified. Not qualified. Yeah, sorry for the misuse of that word. So the fact is that if the stakeholders, the proprietors, the vice chancellor, the chairman of the pro-chancellors, all of them, let everybody come together. Then we fashion it out. There is no way it will not work. 18 years, nobody's against it. But the flexibility aspect of it, those who can make it before that 18 years should be given some time. Though Dr. Motaya said they are very minimal. Fine, they are minimal. But it should be all inclusive.
That is those special students.
It should be all inclusive. Yes, education should be all inclusive. And if education is all inclusive, we should know that those people too should be taken care of. Education is no longer. I think
it was the other person in Sweden who said that what's wrong with setting up a particular center for gifted children?
Because that would be discriminatory.
No. Because look, they are clearly gifted, and it is clear to everybody that we are not in the same class. It's not every 6-year-old that can do calculus. If we have a 6-year-old that can be doing calculus, okay, come now.
With some policies makers and implementers allow it to work, they will want their children to go there. That is the Nigerian fact. They will allow their children to go there because they know that every facilities are there. That is just the truth. If we are really honest to ourselves and we allow things to work the way it's supposed to work in this country,
yes,
Nigeria is blessed. And education is a serious matter. You don't give what you don't have.
But let's not forget that the Professor Tahir Maman, he said that contrary to what it sounds like, nothing has really changed.
Nothing has changed. But
nothing has changed.
Look at the educational examination aspect in this country now. Some states are given some percentage before you can enter unity school. Some are even, some states with only 9%, they are admitted in the same place where 50-something% have been dropped. If we want to be honest to ourselves, let everybody pass through the same process and procedures.
Well, that doesn't work, as you well know. The level of
and then why will this same 18 years
it doesn't
may not
work
be allowed to work?
That will I forget the exact terminology that you professionals use for it, but you can't. If we were to go like that, some people won't be able to enter school forever. And so what they do is that they weight these things and adjust. So, for instance, when we talk about jam, for example, maybe I'm exaggerating it, what in the South might be a 220 cutoff in some other area, in two other areas.
Some 100.
They will say 100 is enough.
Which is the truth, which of course I'm aware of.
Yes.
Because some universities in some parts of the country, they follow through basic schools.
They will say 100 is enough for us.
Yes, and that basic school
if
from
our
there,
kids
enter.
Get 100, he's going into that university that it costs you 220 to get into.
The rain that affects everybody is not painful. If they want this 18, let it be 18 all through. And honestly speaking, the airlines and those who have sent their children abroad, they should make sure their children, they get this type of education in Nigeria. So that it should not be for only some selected people, while the other ones at 16, 17, 18, they are graduating somewhere.
Well, Doctor,
Nigeria belongs to all of us.
This idea you're bringing, it's logical. It's a very logical idea. But you know that we put that logic down for a while.
Yeah.
Who do I have on the line? Who is on the line? Moses in Port Harcourt. Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, Uncle Yori, good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
The program is actually very educating, very, very, I must confess to this.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you.
And I wish God to give you guys the grace to continue this discussion in a proper perspective.
Thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah. Having said that, I'm bothered by two things. The doctor in the studio made a very valid comment. That comment which he made was this. He said something. I don't have an issue with someone being or putting a peg at 18 years. But I have an issue with one thing. He asked a question that most companies in Nigeria, who are the drivers of the economy, peg ages for employment opportunities to people. What is the provisions from the federal government in this regard to ensuring that people are not being unemployed as a result of those age limitations that will come up? That's one. Number two, we begin to also, it is time for us to now rightly interrogate certain issues. What are those issues we need to interrogate? The climate of education or the educational climate in Nigeria is not something that is absolutely very, will I say it, constant. You see it varying this way that one day, I just heard that there is a notice of ASU telling government that there must be, the committee was set up in this regard. Not all of us have opportunities of sending our children to private institutions or tertiary institutions that are privately owned. So the question you might be asking is, when someone who is actually, I suffered it, I had, when I was gaining admission into the university, two sets of people who wrote JAM were on ground. And they had to hijack our cut off to 276. They matched two sets. So many people were deprived of that opportunity. So the question you might be asking is that, was it our own fault that also went on strike? The answer is no. Was it the fault of my father that, oh, okay, I hadn't the privilege of going to school? So these are issues that must be exhaustive. Like the doctor said there, honestly, they need to be very holistic. I'm not against anybody saying that it should not be 18 years, but provide the environment, the necessary academic environment that will push through the sustenance of this 18 years. Most people who are shouting today telling us that, okay, no, yes, it can be this. We made a one draconic rules that came up with the issue of floating our currencies and all of those things. We saw how our currency lost values by 70% immediately. There was no provision to cushion the impact of those things in the economy. This is another one that is coming to test the academic environment or the educational sector. There will be a need for us to totally and holistically address this issue from the standpoint of stakeholders involved. I think this is critical to the development of Cross-River State, to the development of what they call it, educational system in Nigeria.
Okay.
I want to say this. I'll make a submission that please let the entire stakeholder be involved in all of this and come up with the. If I have opportunity and my child is 17 years or my child is 16 years and I'm privileged to take the child to Ghana, I'm privileged to take the child to maybe Algeria, any other country, that they will do that. I will go there and take advantage of it and come back to still apply for work in Nigeria, and they will take me. Meanwhile, the son of the poor who has still the opportunity of doing that will, one, be deprived of going to the university, two, be deprived of having access to employment. So in which way are we now addressing the issue of employment vis-a-vis the issue of entry requirement? Okay. I think we need a very critical look. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your calling in. So this also doubles back to what you said, Dr. Norman, that this should be discussed. It should have been discussed thoroughly and extensively. Let everybody air their views. Let the experts consider all the views on the table and then come up with a position. It might well be what we have now, but then nobody can say you're foisting this on us. It might then also not be what we have now. But the important thing is people just want a sense of inclusion.
Yes.
In things that concern them as closely as this. Their beloved children and wards, they want to know, they don't want people, ordering them around. But then I also still bear in mind Dr. Matayo's point that we've become so used to doing the things he referred to as the wrong way that we now take that as the norm. And he gave the reasons, and you yourself have said that as a professional yourself, as an education professional yourself, that you actually see the point about the psychology of education and the psychological makeup of for example, maybe a 15-year-old student
being in the university.
Being in the university where you are considered an adult altogether, and everybody leaves you to your own devices, as opposed to arriving, maybe you have a firmer, what is it now? You're made of firmer stuff if you actually are 18 when you end up in university. Well, I don't know. As I said, it's been out there for quite a bit. We were just biding our time so that our viewers could also weigh in on this matter. And at least I've heard from you, Dr. Sylvester Enomen, that you're not exactly amused by this, especially owing to the fact that it was not discussed properly.
Yes.
All the stakeholders should have been able to discuss it. But then again, the way we've seen this government act, they might have a reason to come back and say, you know what, let's look at that again. It's happened on one or two occasions, you remember?
Yes, yes.
Remember? It has happened that, okay, I've heard the outcry.
The people.
Well, we have heard the outcry of the people.
Yes.
Maybe we'll spend a bit more time on it. You know, that happened in this whole education...
trust fund. This loan
yes.
stuff.
Okay. Mr. Mohammed in Kaduna, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Good morning, sir.
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, good morning, sir. I want to say one or two things. The doctor had said everything. You understand? The doctor had said everything.
Don't bother. Please continue, sir. Don't listen to that echo.
We are in this country today. You understand? Those people that are privileged to take their own chips, you understand?
Yes.
Out there. They will go out there, they'll finish their education. They'll finish their education at the age of 19, 20 university. They'll come and serve at the age of 21. Most of the jobs we are having here, you understand, the parents will take the job for them. While the children of the poor, from 18, you keep on writing jam as the doctor writing things. I know people that have written that for 4 or 5 times, at the end, getting to university, ASU strike and the rest, they graduate at the age of 29, 30, no NYSC. You understand? And one of the criteria, if you're getting a job today in Nigeria, as the doctor rightly said, they'll look at the age limit. We need so and so age. You understand? Right now, as an example, go to NYSC camp. Go and see old people serving. You understand? You see old men serving because they want to be on the safer side the respect of getting a job. The age has been reduced. You see old people serving. You understand? If they were given opportunity for them to go to school, at the time they ought to go to school, maybe from 16, 17, they get up, they maybe graduate at the age of 23, 24 in the university. At least 4 or 5 years getting the job, 29 years, at least it's going to be okay. The 18 years, you write down 6 or 7 times, 7 years wasted, you get to the university, ASU strike, you have to go and serve, they say you are above the age of service. You understand? So those that are privileged, they are bringing laws that are not helping us in this country. If you are privileged to take your son to school, once he's intelligent, allow him to go. And apart from that, where I'm living, we have kids that Look, when you give them computer, you see what they are doing. They are doing wonderfully well. You kind of be surprised, you understand?
Not just sons, daughters too.
Young guys, you understand?
Yes, I heard you. I heard you. Thank you very much. Not, I just made the, he said sons, but I know he meant students. Yes. You know, not just sons, daughters too. Well, these are the points that we have been hearing ever since the announcement of the intention to take off next year with this new policy.
But can I just come in a little?
Please, we have just 1 minute left.
Yes, you see, if look, you write your WAEC NECO at 18, your JAMB at 18, then maybe before you finish, if you are lucky to get the stuff, and you finish your university at 24 or 25, depending on how it may be, then what is the age for National Youth Service Corps? Because that is where the whole thing. These people who have their children graduating at 21, at 20 from abroad will come, go to any of the nearby court and declare age that their children is so and so. If we must follow the procedure of that 18 years for WAEC and NECO, then JAMB, let it equally affect the NYSC.
Okay.
That is just it.
Yes.
And the 26% UNESCO recommendation of every country's budget on education, let it be implemented. If it's, I know this present regime, they are lovers of education. They believe in education, and the president is ready to do anything to make education grow and develop. But let some of these policies, sir, we should give it a human face.
All right.
Thank you very much.
I think that's a fine place to leave it. And thank you very much, Dr. Sylvester Inomen, Educational Management Consultant and former Director of Education, Lagos State Ministry of Education. Really appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. And thank you also to all you viewers out there who weighed in on this subject. We just will wait. Of course, remember that it's not going to take off immediately, but by next year, the minister has assured that JAMB will not be allowed to, examine students, neither will NECO. So that's our program today. Do please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. In the meantime, do have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now.